Dennis Savard chopping his way to center ice, shooting the puck in. Mandich feeling his way along the boards to Platt. He can't get it out. And Secord and Mandich battling each other. Ooh, now Mandich puts the stick in the side of Secord. Puck behind the Minnesota net, whacked by Young, up to Freese. Freese is stopped. Here's a chance for Secord. He's hit by Giles. Savard to Larmer. He shoots. He's robbed by Beaupre. Then hits the side of the net. In front to Secord, a shot. And Freese, a valiant sliding effort to stop Secord, who wants at Mandich. Dan Mandich and Al Secord. Then Larmer dumped from behind. Freese and Larmer are doing some shoving. Now Secord slams Freese on his heels. Now Larmer and Freese are going to go at it in front of the Minnesota net.
Well, Freese should get some additional penalty time for jumping Larmer. Larmer with a great chance to pull ahead. Boy, these teams really don't like each other, and it's proving to be a fantastic rivalry.
I don't think at any time can anyone ever say they've seen better hockey than this. Fox and Young trying to Fred Astaire a little bit, and Fox showing his muscle. Now Brian Lewis comes over, and certainly he has his hands full. Across the rink from this scene, Al Secord and Willie Platt are eye-to-eye grabbing jerseys.
All alone, no one there to protect them.
There they are.
Both tired customers. I'm sure they have tremendous respect for each other.
Now the linesmen spot them and say, there's a big forest fire about to break out, and we better get over there. Well, this crowd will never compete with the crowds at Chicago Stadium, but they're definitely trying to make a show of it tonight. Listen to this crowd.
Now Savard having words with Platt. Interesting to see how Lewis calls this. Freese should get an additional penalty for jumping Larmer. Now Savard, we can't see it, is over there battling with the whole
There we
bench.
go, Cicerelli and Savard right in front of the Minnesota bench. And they're really going at it. Now Fraser coming in to help Savard. And it all breaks loose here at the Met Center. Both teams, a wild brawl.
Now both the Chicago players jump the bench.
Now
Cicerelli
Freese
off the bench to get at
Freese out of the penalty box. Freese along with the other Minnesota player in the penalty box. Well, you can see it as well as anyone. Savard went right over to the Minnesota bench and picked out number 20, Dino Cicerelli. It has been quite a night here at the Met Center. And don't forget, these teams go at it again in the regular season. Now Savard trying to pull loose. Cicerelli taunting him from center ice. Savard being pinned by the linesman in front of the Chicago bench. There's Cicerelli. He was taunting Savard, who was being held back by Kevin Collins. Well, it's going to be a while before this matter cools down.
Well, we've seen very little of this in the National Hockey League. They've cut down on this tremendously with the new rules. This is the first time the Blackhawks have been involved in a situation like this with both teams.
I want to say one thing. Our cameraman with a handheld camera between the two benches.
To get the Purple Heart.
Boy, at least a cold one after the game. He's done a valiant effort. He's got the ringside camera. And Brian Lewis really has lost total control. He is sitting now with a pencil and a little notepad. Brian Lewis. Higgins is the Blackhawk player. Cicerelli trying to get to him. Young Brian Bellows, who probably can't have a cold one after the game because of age, holding off Tim Higgins. And Dino Cicerelli is kind of dancing all around the ring. This is in the bench.
This is Young and Fox going at it in the bench.
Fox
Boy, if this keeps up, I'm going to have to suit up to finish the hockey game.
Fox has been holding on all along, and Fox just trying to get Young, I think, Dale, down underneath the bench where he can really take care of things. Well, this is not the kind of thing you ever want to encourage, but it is the result of some supreme efforts by all concerned, and I'm sure one of the finest hockey games that has been seen in the NHL this season. Now, it's Lutzig out at center ice with Bobby Smith. This becomes the main event. Now Fox goes over. He and Priest are going to go at it. Well, Dale Talon, you and I have seen a lot of hockey over the years, and that means not in a positive way necessarily, a lot of fights and a lot of brawls, and this may be one of the granddaddies of all that I have witnessed.
Fox really giving it to Freese now in front of the bench, the penalty bench.
To the credit of the fans here, they have stayed out of the situation, which I think we should point out. It is quite a credit, because when these sorts of things have happened in recent years, and even going back a number of years in the NHL, there have been instances where the fans have gotten involved. Two interested bystanders.
Goaltenders have a strong union. No fighting allowed in the goaltenders union. You see Milosh and Bannerman both chewing their gum rather nervously.
Well, everybody now is paired up. You see it all. It looks like the Tommy Dorsey band in a ballroom dance in an old hotel in the Loop area.
Now, Platt and Secord jostling in front of the penalty box.
There they are. Look at, you can see the little mouse over the eye of Secord. That's from the initial fight between Platt and Secord at the minute 18 mark of this third period.
We have to bring in the National Guard.
Whoops, now Hartsburg and Savard, Cicerelli and Savard are back together. Savard is loose. One of the linesmen has Cicerelli. And this has been going on for some 10 minutes. Now some fans beginning to throw some debris out, and it's just about to the point, Dale, and you say it tongue-in-cheek, we'll have to call out the National Guard, but it's just about to the point where someone other than the two linesmen and Brian Lewis is going to have to step in.
Savard really has a dislike for Cicerelli. I don't think he'll be on his Christmas card list next year. Now this looks like that movie They Shoot Horses, don't they? The old dance marathon.
There's Dino Cicerelli. He is a little pepper pot, 5'10", 180 pounds. They're the two big men who really probably are the center of attraction. Now they're drawing everyone like magnets. And you're right, Dale. You make the point of how hard it is to hug and shove and pull on skates. And then if you try to talk and do everything else, and this has been a game where these players, with 5:50 to go in the third period, have to be totally exhausted. Now another event behind the Chicago net. And Brian Lewis trying to break up Lutzig, who was, I guess, 5-6 minutes ago in a fierce battle, was with Bobby Smith, and that's the two of them yet. Well, you have any old grudges against any of these North Stars that you remember from your playing days? I'll be glad to let you go down there.
That's why I'm glad I'm up here. Getting too old for this stuff.
Kevin Collins, one of the linesmen, is at center ice with Dino Cicerelli. They are 5 feet apart, eyeing each other.
Now Secord is going at it again with Platt.
Well, there are sticks and gloves in the center ice area and in the Minnesota zone. The fight has covered the entire rink. The crowd has been standing for 10 minutes. And all you can say is this is one of those great Donnybrooks that you hear about once in a while in the National Hockey League. And for my money, it'll go down as a classic. And for John Ziegler's money, it'll go down as a nightmare. That is Secord and Platt grappling.
I don't know if it's...
Now it's Mandich.
They've had a duel all season. It started in training camp. where Mandich and Secord went at it on numerous occasions. Now they've gone at it again.
There's Cicerelli now with the other linesman as they're pairing off. Wayne Bonney, Kevin Collins and Wayne Bonney getting together saying, you go, I'll go, you go, I'll go, because they're exhausted themselves.
Well, I know one thing. These players won't be needing any Somonex to get to sleep tonight. Well, it should be quite a matchup on the 30th at the Chicago Stadium.
Where are we sitting that night? Anywhere near the benches?
I might watch it in a bar. In case somebody calls me back into the lineup.
Well, things seemingly have been straightened out. Now, of course, a huge task of paperwork, some secretarial duties, if you will, for veteran referee Brian Lewis. Broughton over to talk to Lewis, and he just says, hey, go away. I got a lot of things to do. As we mentioned earlier, Lewis was taking notes, and well, he should, but I guess, Dale, he could just point to anyone about that he wanted to, just so he has 5 left in front of the goalies to finish out the last 5:50. Let us forget not that this is a 3-3 hockey game that has a lot more meaning than this bench-clearing, long-term brawl.
Well, we know Cicerelli and Savard will be banished from the game. We know that Secord and Plett will probably be thrown out. Mandich as well. Freestel definitely got a suspension for leaving the penalty box to come in and help out. Then all the Blackhawks jump the bench. Fraser leading the way. They'll all get fined for that.
Now, this will definitely, as you see Don Beaupre, have an effect on the last 6 games of the season, as the National Hockey League will come down with, I'm sure, severe penalties against both teams, because you know darn well they're going to look and say they're going to play March 30th. They may very well play in the playoffs. We're going to put a stop to this, or at least make a staunch effort right now. So for Minnesota especially, trying to catch the Blackhawks and win their 2nd consecutive Norris Division Championship, some player deletions over the last half-dozen games could be extremely costly.
Couldn't have said it better myself. You see a couple of Blackhawk fans. I'll do it out in their red and black.
Well, you know, I'm going to say it again, and I don't mean to be patronizing. You hate to see fights. You hate to see things get out of control. But the feel of this arena and the feel that you get inside of the intensity of this hockey game, and the understanding, if you've ever played hockey on any level, of what can go on with emotions. It is a great feeling to be a part of all of this energy.
Well, you have to stand up for your rights. Savard, one of the leaders, one of the best players on the Hawk team, a smaller player in his team also, has to be protected by his teammates, and they did just that. Fighting in the National Hockey League is a necessary evil. We'll be back after these words.
Championship between the team expected to win it handily, the Minnesota North Stars, and the team with their new rookie coach Orville Tessier, that has been maybe the biggest surprise in this league here in the 82-83 season, the Blackhawks. A rivalry that just continues to grow and grow and grow. And they played this, their 7th game of the regular season, and there not only is an 8th game of the regular season to go, but the potential of as many as 7 games in postseason play. It's just absolutely magnificent.
I don't envy the job of the 2 linesmen and Lewis. As he tries to, here's where it all started, right here. After Larmer missed a brilliant opportunity. What a save by Beaupre. Then he tries to put it in the short side from an impossible angle. The Hawks all over the Minnesota North Stars, and there the shot blocked by Freese. Now Plett dueling with Secord, and then Larmer and a whole bunch of players get involved in front of Beaupre, and then Savard comes over to taunt Cicerelli at the North Star bench. Cicerelli and Savard went at it. Fraser jumped the bench, and then the rest of the team came.
We should soon be getting an announcement on the penalties, and when we do, we'll let you hear that. And if you'd like, you can grab a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen, and you can write them down, because it'll be long.
Captain Sutter right there to get all the information, to get the bad news from Lewis. On the other hand, Captain Craig Hartsburg for the North Stars, standing outside that circled off area in front of the penalty boxes, which players are not allowed to get involved in. They're not allowed to cross that line to discuss anything with a referee. There you see the two captains discussing the situation right there.
Is this what happens after any war? You send a couple of generals to meet at the table afterwards? And all the other penalties handed out, and there it is. So the Blackhawks end up with more penalty minutes. Again, I'm not a great mathematician, but that looks like 190 penalty minutes, to say nothing of game, gross, and match misconducts. Boy, the NHL coffers are going to be healthy.
Nice piece of cash in that fine kitty. Somebody will be having a nice time in the off season.
Maybe you'll get a call in the next few days. Maybe John Ziegler would like you to stop by with a videotape and stop by the ante room to his office, where they'll put up a screen and listen to your description and our description of the free-for-all, and maybe you can give him some first-hand opinions, the journalist that you are.
No, thank you. I'll be busy that day.
Not interested, huh? Well, you can be sure that the videotape of this contest. They call a penalty now. Here's Lysiak, the lone forward, with Bob Murray, and he can't quite get the pass. This is Gordy Roberts on with Maxwell and Broughton, the lone forward. The pass out of his reach. Wilson plays it to Bob Murray too far. Now it's Maxwell. This is almost one-on-one hockey. Broughton taken out by Bob Murray. Lysiak dumps it to his wingmate, who's in the penalty box. 5:15 to go. 3-3 tie. Players coming over the boards on the fly. Gardner spins Roberts around. This is Brad Maxwell with Brian Bellows. The shot, he scores! Brad Maxwell!
Maxwell allowed to walk in across the blue line, cranks it up low and hard, beating Esposito on the stick side, just inside the post.
Crowd going absolute bananas. Both teams, two men short. Gardner trying to get in front. He's stopped. Now Bellows with Hartsburg against Beamster. Bellows trying to turn in. Still with a puck, centers, and Gardner back to intercept. 4:35 remaining. The North Stars with a 4-3 lead. They desperately need 2 points.
By Brad Maxwell.
And the play offside.
Number 10, Gordy Roberts. Time of the goal, 14:58.
This crowd going crazy here at the Met Center. The 8th goal of the year for Brad Maxwell, and the North Stars lead it 4-3, and their crowd here up and cheering on the North Stars. The penalty box crowded with players after the brawl that delayed the game for in the neighborhood of 50 minutes. Puck shot in, McCarthy after it. He's hit by Crossman, taken out. Patterson can't get the puck. Roberts does. Patterson tries to steal. Roberts comes in front. He's stripped. Back to Maxwell. His shot. He hits the crossbar. Well, may have hit the right post and the left post behind Esposito. Maxwell just misses his second goal. Boy, it's amazing that didn't go in. Now Crossman, a shot. Whoa, that trickles off the glove of Beaupre. Now the Hawks get a player back. Marsh and the Hawks have a man advantage. The Chicago Blackhawks have a man advantage with 3:38 to go. They need a goal to get a tie. Wilson battling Broughton for the puck. Lysiak digs it out. The Hawks with a heat on. Back to Lysiak from Murray, over to Wilson in front. And Bob Murray just fails to deflect the puck in. Lysiak keeps it in the corner to Preston. 3:20 to go. The pass for Lysiak tipped away. 4 Chicago skaters to 3 for Minnesota. Bouncing puck for Bob Murray to handle. Murray, Wilson, Lysiak, and Preston against Broughton, Roberts, and Maxwell. North Stars up by 1. Here's Wilson. He shoots, and he's robbed by goaltender Don Beaupre. 3 minutes exactly to go. The Blackhawks with a man advantage. Bob Murray keeps the puck in with a nifty effort off the board, banking it to Lysiak against Roberts. Back to Murray. To Lysiak. Preston is in front. Wilson at the point takes a shot. And a skate save by Beaupre. The Hawks doing everything but scoring. Lysiak stopped by Beaupre. Preston can't get to the puck, but it's poked to him by Lysiak. Oh, how can the Hawks not score here? 2.5 to go. The shot tipped away. Now Wilson with a bouncing puck over the blade of his stick. Sweeps it off the boards to Bob Murray. 2:20 to go. Lysiak shoots, and that deflects just wide. The North Stars under extreme pressure. Wilson to Bob Murray in the slot. A high drive misses. Now it's Lysiak as Roberts, Broughton, and Maxwell have to be dead tired. Lysiak looking for Wilson. 2:07 left. 4-3 Minnesota. This place in a frenzy. And Gordy Roberts shoots the puck the length of the ice. 1 minute, 55 seconds remaining. The Blackhawks have the power play. They're down by a goal. Now the North Stars get a man back from the penalty box. And the rest of the way, the two teams will play 5 aside, 4 skaters in front of the goalies. Preston hits the side of the net. Gardner from behind the net out to Crossman. He fakes around. Hartsburg comes in front to Preston. He fans on a shot. Wilson a drive. The save by Beaupre. Now Gardner, the only man back. 2-on-1. Payne shoots. The save by Esposito, and he stops the rebound effort. Then Giles hits the side of the net. My friends, there's 1 minute 15 to go in one of the great hockey games you'll ever see. Crossman shoots it in. The North Stars trying to move to within 3 points of the first place Blackhawks with 6 games remaining. Beamster tips the puck wide. Then Fraser is tripped. There's no penalty. 2-on-1 break with less than a minute to go. Young trying to get the puck to Ferguson. Can't. Good defensive play by Crossman. Wide open effort and a penalty. A penalty coming up against the North Stars. Tim Young. A penalty against the North Stars. So Katie bar the door. 47 seconds to go. And the Blackhawks, down by a goal, will have a man advantage. Here's the play that gives the Hawks the golden opportunity.
A definite call right there. Lewis had to call that. It was a flagrant tripping call, but Beaupre, the story again. 4 spectacular saves on the Blackhawks while they had a 4-on-3 situation.
There's the penalty box. It looks a lot like a Friday night high school party and not a wallflower in the bunch. Finally emptying out a little bit as some of the players getting some relief. After a delay of some 50 minutes, now the Hawks are going to create a delay in a legal fashion. You saw Orville Tessier calling a timeout. So that delay of some 50 minutes with a bench-clearing melee, the final tabulation, as best as we can put it together, the Hawks received 14 penalties, 91 minutes. Minnesota 15 penalties, 82 minutes. So in the brawl, 29 penalties, 173 total penalty minutes, and there's Brian Lewis in a familiar position. This capacity crowd here at the Met Center in Bloomington trying to rally Murray Oliver's North Stars. The North Stars attempting to register their 39th triumph. Already they've set a new club record for victories. This is Doug Wilson. The pass for Preston. He cuts in right in front. Preston trying to get a backhand shot. He can't. Now the Hawks try to dig the puck out, and play is stopped as Maxwell falls on the puck with 36 seconds to go. A great opportunity for Rich Preston.
Nice move here. Everyone thought he was going to shoot. He cuts around, goes to his backhand, and look at the poke check. Just touches the puck to put it off Preston's stick as Maxwell.
Now, the Minnesota North Stars receiving a valiant third period performance from Don Beaupre, call a timeout of their own. 36 seconds to go.
After the breakup and the action, a 45, 50-minute delay, the first shot by the North Stars resulted in a goal. Maxwell with a low hard shot beating Esposito to the 6th side. That delay might have affected Esposito's leg movement.
Now, Tony Esposito is over at the Blackhawk bench. The faceoff will be to the left of the Minnesota goal with the 36 seconds to go. The Hawks will have the man advantage and trying to come away from the Met in Bloomington for the second straight time with a 4-4 tie. But among the fans here in the upper Midwest, much jubilation. Here's Preston again, and then Eaves later does a great job. Look at Eaves go down, almost tripped, but he sweeps the puck away as Preston on a second effort had the net wide open. There's a youngster well past his bedtime, but boy, he's in the spirit of this game. All set to go. The Blackhawks have Preston on the ice along with Crossman, Lysiak, Wilson, and Bob Murray. The Chicago net at the other end of the rink is empty. It's Eaves against Lysiak for this key face-off with 36 seconds to go. The North Stars lead the Hawks 4-3. Lysiak wins the draw. Wilson has the puck. 33 seconds left. My, oh my, he hit the post. I don't believe it. The goal is empty. Here's Eaves against Wilson. Eaves shoots. He hits the goal post. 19 seconds to go. You see the clock. This is Bob Murray dumping it into Lysiak. The Hawks flood the zone. Their net is empty. Roberts dumps Lysiak, falls on the puck, and there are 8 seconds to go in one of the wildest finishes we have seen in the 82-83 season.
Can you believe that? Wilson comes in after Lysiak won the face-off, rattles it off the post. Eaves comes down on an empty net situation. Doug Wilson doing a tremendous job to stall him. What's this job by Wilson? The only man back. Eaves tries to fake him out. He goes wide. Wilson with a sec off the goalpost. The face-off back in the North Star zone. Boy, we've had everything tonight.
The playoffs are going to seem anticlimactic. This is, for my money, and I hope for yours, one of the great games I've ever seen. Ken Wilson with Dale Talon at the Met Center in Bloomington, 8 seconds to go. The Hawks down by a goal. Lysiak comes in front of the net to Wilson. The shot, the save. Broughton with a puck. It comes loose. 2 seconds. It's over. And the North Stars fans in total jubilation. The North Stars pick up a win that they had to have. And the hope of a second consecutive Norris Division championship is still alive for the Minnesota North Stars, thanks to a goal at 14:58 by defenseman Brad Maxwell.